Test.
Zach, if you'll recall, we sat in these chairs 2 years ago. That game in 2023.
Remember our bad joke?
And the joke was, ouch, man, the seat's pretty hot. Wonder what that means for Kenny Payne. Are we doing the same thing
Boy,
tonight?
how things have changed in 2 years, my goodness.
Are we doing the same thing for Mark Pope tonight?
Oh, God, I hope not.
No, we're not. No, we're not going to be ridiculous. But we do have questions, and we did not get many answers because we only got to talk to him for 5 minutes today. So wasn't pretty. And a 96-88 loss here at the KSE Yum Center for the Kentucky Wildcats, where it was essentially a wire-to-wire butt kicking. There were 2 comeback efforts, an 18-point comeback in the first half, followed by a 20-point comeback in the second half. Got it down to 4. We're in position to cut it down to 2, and then more missed free throws, more untimely, just fill in the blank for whatever the circumstance was, whether it was a bad shot or turnover, that free throw, just something would always go wrong right in the moment where they could have made their real, momentum shifting, lead changing kind of opportunity. Just never were able to take advantage of it. And that's how we get to where we are, in an 8-point loss where Kentucky's best players did not play well in the slightest, and Louisville's best players were absolutely phenomenal and gave this crowd, which was an unbelievable atmosphere, props to everybody involved in this. It was a very, very impressive, high-level college basketball game, high-level college basketball atmosphere that just simply did not favor the team that we root for.
Yeah. When Michael Brown and Ryan Conwell combined for 53 points, they shot a combined 23s, 23 free throws. They were the 2 best players on the floor, especially Michael Brown. I mean, my God, he had 20 points in the first half. That kid is just, he's a lottery pick. Like, he's just unbelievably good at making shots. Denzel Aberdeen still played really well for Kentucky, 26 points. I imagine that's a career high for him. I haven't officially looked, but he was kind of the only guy injecting some life into Kentucky at points. Even with a couple of airballed threes, he was still taking more shots, so give him a little bit of credit for that. But really just, this is a team that we kind of hyped up their defense. Kentucky's coming in, played against bad teams, looked really, really good in that regard, and then you come into this against what's probably going to end up being one of the best top 5 offenses in the country. If tonight was any indication, Kentucky just did not live up to any of the expectations that we've set on the defensive end of the floor. They could not force any turnovers. They struggled to, I can't tell you how many times Louisville would just dump the ball into the post. Kentucky would bring a second guy over for some reason, and then they'd throw it to a guy who's played 100 career college basketball games and shoots them at a 40% clip from deep. That happened countless times.
How many times did we look at each other and go, how is Isaac Manili open right now?
Yeah.
How is Ryan Conwell getting a clean catch-and-shoot look over and over and over again?
That was very frustrating to watch. I don't know what the game plan was there. But then Louisville, their defense, they were blitzing every single ball screen, just pushing Kentucky out to the perimeter, making life tough for Jalen Lowe, who kind of tapped into some of his Pittsburgh days, especially down the stretch there. Like, overall, I don't think he played a bad game, but what you're going to remember is the missed pull-up 3 in transition, which I think would have cut it to 3. Steven and Jack both agree. And then missing the front of that one-and-one that would have, if you hit both, would have cut it to 2. I think that was with about 2 or 3 minutes left.
Those were within 1 minute of each other.
And then I think he also stepped out of bounds there with a minute left, towed the line. So just kind of a really tough inning for him. It felt like he was really trying to force the issue. Like I said, going back to his Pittsburgh days, that's just not the guy he has to be anymore, especially when you've got someone like Denzel Aberdeen who's playing well. Cam Williams, we will give him his flowers maybe a little bit later, but a great 12-minute stretch from him to end that game. Really the only reason I think Kentucky even had a chance to go back into this, because Pope decided to go a little bit small ball, put Cam Williams at the 4. That worked really well. That'll be interesting to see how Pope manages that moving forward, because he has 4 guys that can all play center. So how's he going to deal with that, especially if Cam Williams continues to kind of show up like he did tonight? But before we let Jacob Polchek, who's also here, talk about some of this game as well, the difference came down to one thing, I think, and it's turnovers.
Assists to turnovers.
It was assisted turnovers, yes. So Kentucky, 14 to 14 assisted turnovers. Louisville, 20 assists to 6 turnovers. Guess how many points off turnovers Louisville had compared to Kentucky? The answer is 19-10. That's a 9-point difference. How many points did Kentucky lose by tonight? 8. There's your ball game right there. Kentucky could not. And Mark Pope this quote's going to go viral too. I don't know why this is the second time he's done this season now where he says that we're not a team that does this and that. And the way he says it just makes it seem like, what was it the first time he said? I already forget it. Yes, he's like, don't have that kind of talent. It's like, why would you say that out loud? And then to come into the press conference tonight, which only lasted 5 minutes, and then to say, we're not a high turnover team. We're not trying to force turnovers on defense. Like, just say it a different way. Like, I think people maybe know what you mean, but you're just saying it in a way that makes it look ridiculous when you lose by 8 points and the difference is the points off turnovers. Like, so that's a little bit frustrating when you have to hear him say that. But that's really what this game came down to, was just turnovers. Louisville forced a bunch. Kentucky played out of sorts a lot. Whenever Kentucky was trying to push the pace, it looked ugly. When Louisville was trying to push the pace, it looked pretty. And that's just kind of what it came down to.
Jacob, I think one of the biggest negative fan reactions for the night is just the play of Otega Oweh. This was the game that he played really well in last year, 17 points in his, Bluegrass battle debut. And for him to go out there and, so much kind of talked about his status and like the pregame weirdness with the line moving and the picture of whether he's healthy or not. All of that stuff was just really, really bizarre. He ended up being full strength, we think. But man, I really didn't like much of anything Otega brought to the table today. I think the effort was poor. I think the motor was poor. I think the shot selection was really bad. I think that the turnovers were egregious at times. Playing off 1 foot instead of 2, just barreling down the lane with no real rhyme or reason. The control and poise and polish that he kind of played with last year while still maintaining that kind of bulldog, keeping that edge, just not seeing any of that. It just, the first 3 games, dating back to the exhibition slate, there's just not a whole lot to love about Otega Oweh right now, and I'd say that he's probably the biggest difference in the loss today.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. You kind of covered all of that, but
Sorry.
Jacob, pick up our scraps for us, would you?
I agree with what you're saying with Otega. Is even if he isn't the SEC Player of the Year, he still needs to be doing what he did best last season. Getting to the hoop, scoring at the rim. He doesn't need to be shooting 6 threes. But he even the 6 threes aside, going 1 for 6 from deep, when he was getting to the hoop, it was so out of control. He wasn't scoring at the rim, and it just disrupted the flow of the offense, which is the exact opposite of what you want out of Otega. You need him to be I don't want to say a complimentary piece, but you need him to do what he does best, getting to the hoop, scoring at the rim, and not doing too much. And if he's not doing what he does best, and then he's not hitting threes, then you're not going to get much from him.
Jacob, just the whole
yeah.
But 4 minutes, the last 4 minutes, this is just the worst. All of this is just the worst. 4 points in the final 4 minutes. Just not able to execute down the stretch with, the Jalen Lowe missed 3 pull-up, kind of selfish shot, bad shot, bad timing.
Bad shot.
The front end, Denzel Aberdeen missed the front end of a 1-on-1. Jalen Lowe did the exact same thing. It just felt like all of the crucial moments of the game, Kentucky wasn't able to do it. What happened in the last 4 minutes?
Yeah, first off, I thought Louisville left the door open for Kentucky. Obviously, you had that big second half comeback.
They missed a million free throws.
They missed a million free throws. Kentucky had to take advantage of that, but it really felt like I put a lot of this on Pope compared to Kelsey. I think Kelsey made the right adjustments. It felt like every time there was a timeout or a break in the action, Louisville would come out and immediately go on a 5-0 run or whatever. And anytime Kentucky had momentum and there was a break in the action, that momentum was gone. And you saw that constantly throughout the game, and especially in the second half when you finally thought Kentucky might have some life, might have a chance to win it. There was a break in the action, and Louisville was right back at it. So, I think that any flow that they had, they consistently lost, and that was a big piece in why Louisville was able to win.
Pat Kelsey goes into the press conference and shows off a broken finger. His finger's in a splint. did it while he was celebrating the win. There's videos now circulating about it, but this one meant a lot to Louisville.
Yeah.
Zach, I think that is pretty clear. They came in with an edge, and you could just kind of tell that this game meant something. I remember interviewing Michael Brown at USA training camp back in the summer, and just saying like, hey, November 11th, what's that game mean to you? He's like, everything. I've had that game circled on my calendar since I committed. That game's super, super important. There's nothing more important, it's especially in the non-conference schedule. Why? I don't even know the right way to phrase this. What can you say about Louisville's approach and just kind of the want to compared to Kentucky?
Are you asking how that plays on my mind?
How does the want to play on your mind, in the wise words of Jerry Tipton?
I don't even know if it was just the want to.
Was the want to where it needed to be for Kentucky better phrased?
Probably not. At least in hindsight, looking back now, yeah, probably not. And it's what's funny is the guy that kind of sparks the whole pregame drama with the "F them" comment, Cason Pryor. He played 2 minutes and didn't score. He was watching from the bench the whole game.
I think he tweeted something like, "I got an A+ on the class project and didn't contribute anything."
Which,
to it.
if he did tweet that, actually, that's a good tweet. But yeah, so you could tell that. I don't even know if it meant more to Louisville or not. I think Kentucky just got outplayed. Like, I don't really know. I think Louisville just had a better game plan. They looked more comfortable at the gate. Kentucky was just having to play catch-up the entire time, and it wasn't.
I brought the pencil and the right mindset to the group project. Still got an A+.
Yeah.
Good tweet.
Yeah, that's a good tweet, unfortunately.
Good tweet.
But yeah, so that's just.
He also said, "Why you so mad in my DMs?" GG's.
Yeah, he's an interesting character, is I think all I'll say about him. But yeah, Louisville just wanted this game more, it felt like, at least early on, and that kind of set the tone the rest of the way. There is like guys I want to give shout-outs to, like Andrei Yelovich and Malachi Moreno. God, I just want to see those guys play more. I think they're so good out there when they're playing together. Neither of them missed a shot. They were 6 for 6 combined. So I don't understand why Yelovich really only got 10 minutes. I'm sure there's reasons for it and stuff. Maybe there's something will show up on film.
I don't think there's a valid one.
Malachi with 8 points, 5 boards in 17 minutes. Brandon Garrison just kind of felt like he was a little bit frustrating out there to watch, even though I don't think he played poorly. Maybe just switch those minutes around where maybe Malachi's getting 23 and Brandon Garrison's the one getting 17. It was clear from the start that this wasn't going to be a Jasper Johnson game. I'm perfectly fine with him on the bench for most. After he misses his first couple, like he just felt out of control a little bit too much. Trent Noah didn't play a single second. Who knows if he's actually healthy or not, but he didn't even see the floor. And
the only reason through, shoot around, looked great in the
only reason Cam, and we will brag about Cam Williams for a second. The only reason Cam saw the floor, though, was because of foul trouble, and there was no other, like it was just kind of a breaking case of emergency thing. But man, Cam Williams, finally. Like we've been kind of harping on this kid for, what's going on, Steven?
You're fine. Batteries kind of just started draining for some reason.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, we're complaining over here. But, yeah, so Cam Williams comes in about the 12-minute mark. Kentucky's down 20, largest deficit of the game. Hits a three a couple minutes later. Has a putback dunk, has an offensive rebound. Finished with 4 rebounds. Had a really big defensive rebound right down there. Had a block shot. He was the plus-minus leader at plus 11. Like, I think there's something that you can – if you're trying to take some positives, Cam Williams at the 4, maybe some more small ball stuff, at least against a team like Louisville where maybe they're more guard-oriented and want to push the pace and stuff. Maybe that's something that you can use to counter teams like that moving forward. But was really – and I even told Jack when Cam came in, I was like, Cam's going to hit a shot. He's going to hit a shot, and that's what we're going to be talking about after the game's over and Kentucky's lost. And then everyone's going to be like, why did Cam not play earlier? But I get it. Like he was struggling in the first – shooting the ball in the first couple games. But – he kind of had his complete all-around performance in the 12 minutes that we saw, so I'm interested to see how that works out moving forward. But, yeah, otherwise, like, Mo Diabate, 7 points, 4 rebounds, just not enough. Colin Chandler still is – I mean, I will say Colin Chandler's not missing any threes right now. He was 4 for 6 tonight. He's probably in the 55-60% range since March 1st right now. Boy, I'm talking a lot. Goodness. So, yeah, there's small things you can take away, but giving up 96 points that's rough.
Hey, while we're talking about
we have a sponsor.
some good things with Cam Williams especially, shout out from our friends at Monticello Bank. Go check them out at Monticello Bank and NBCBank.com. We have to come up with a Monticello Bank player of the game or impact play of the game. No impact plays of the game, I don't think, in a loss of this magnitude. But
impact in a negative way,
let's
maybe.
say, Otega would win that one.
I was going to say the Jalen Lowe pull-up three.
I would say Denzel deserves his props for hitting big shots in
26
timely
points, man.
moments. He was awesome. Like, Denzel was really good, asserted himself and really just came up big, whether it was hitting a big shot, finishing, making the right play. Denzel was awesome. He played winning basketball today, so he's going to be our impact player of the day. Anybody else deserve some props and praise outside of Cam, I guess Colin, and...
No, that's pretty much it.
Anybody you want to shout out?
I think that's it. I would echo Zach's statements on Cam. I'm surprised, honestly, seeing his stat line being only 5 points because it felt like his impact on the game was a lot larger. And it was a really promising performance based on how he's played heading into this and what it bodes for the future.
Make sure you go check out NBCBank.com, Monticello Bank, where people matter. And remember, FDIC, equal housing lender. Let's wrap up here. Concern level. Is this throw the tape away and go back to the drawing board? Is this something that, are your national championship hopes just down the drain?
No, they're not. I try not to be too reactionary to this stuff because I know it's a long season. It's only the third game. Kentucky still scored 88 points. I mean, if you look at this box score, everything is pretty much the exact same, Kentucky to Louisville, except for those turnovers. And that's really what this game came down to, was just turnovers. So if you're Kentucky, Louisville is a team that forces a bunch of turnovers. Like, that's kind of their MO on defense. So they came in and executed that. Kentucky apparently doesn't want to force turnovers. That was their MO, and they executed that, I guess, in that sense. But I think you can take positives from the offense and moving forward. Like, maybe this is a kick that they need to kind of jolt themselves and say, hey, okay, we've been ranked highly, but let's come down to earth a little bit. Maybe Otega can come back down to earth a little bit as well with him, going through the whole NBA process and then being the SEC preseason player of the year. Like you're saying, though, Jack, maybe Jacob said it, 6 threes is way too many for Otega. That's plain and simple. But I do think, and then the Cam Williams stretch at the end, the last, I really like to see the fight. Like, this team could have easily buckled, and this could have been a 20-point loss, and then we'd really be having some different questions right now, different conversations. So it was bad. It's a bad loss. It's not going to sit well with the fan base, understandably so. And Steven's smiling back there as I say that because he's not been too happy about this one. But, yeah, it was a tough loss, bad loss, and we'll just see how they recover. You got the BB and United tip-off Kentucky Tourism Classic on Friday.
Did we call that?
Championship.
Trap game?
Trap game.
They looked ahead.
You're right.